Hello my friends, welcome to Talk to Me Tuesday for Tuesday, March 3rd, 2020. This is Jennifer. So I did get my encoders on my machine and that was definitely the problem. It is sewing so beautifully now. Stitch regulator's working perfectly, and just to get warmed up I did these 4 little quilts, and I hung them this way because I wanted you to see that they were one quilt before they were quilted. This was a quilt top that Barb donated. She's a ladybug, made this on Instagram, and she sent me the whole quilt top, and I asked her if I could split it up and she said yes. This is a jelly roll race, so I took this seam out right here, just pulled it out, and then each of these pieces I cut in half. Each one's quilted a little bit differently. They all have a different back. I took the opportunity to use some smaller pieces of fabric from my Linus stash. I keep my Linus fabric separate, and it did just different backs on all of these. And whatever is on the binding is also on the back. What I try to do on my Linus quilts whenever possible is I have at least an extra half a yard of whatever fabric it is so that I can use it for binding. And if I don't, I just coordinate and just go with it. The other quilt you see here was an orphan block quilt that I pieced sometime last year. I think it may have been in the first half of the year. Maybe. I know it was before retreat and it hung on a hanger in my sewing room for quite some time. It was in the back of a lot of my videos. This block, this one right here, that is Hearts All Around. That's one of my patterns, and then all the rest of these were donated to me over many years. I got some of them last year, and some of them I'd had for a really long time. Like, I know the black and red ones I'd had for quite some time. This one, these were the leftovers from another orphan block quilt that I did at retreat with Jules 2 years ago when I went to New Mexico for retreat. Initially it was black and red, and then I started adding red and white. And then when I had enough, I decided I wanted something to pull it all together, and so I went with this teal, and these are all scrappy. They were made from fat quarters, so they're just all scrappy teals. I had a blast quilting this. I hadn't done swirls in a while, and I've been seeing several people on Instagram were quilting swirls, and I was like, you know what, I need to quilt some swirls. So after I got all warmed up doing these guys, I went to town on this and did swirls. I have started just recently using bobbin thread. I guess it was probably middle of last year, using bobbin thread in my bobbin, and I had used it before but not consistently, and I find that bobbin thread, it's super fine, so it fills the bobbin. These 4 quilts, 1 bobbin. This one was about 1 1/4. It's much more densely quilted, but yeah, that's definitely a bonus of using bobbin thread. I did actually piece a quilt top last week, but I'm gonna save it for next week, and I'm also planning to do a little show and tell next week. I'm going to show you guys the quilts that Jennifer gave me that she made, and also I have one from Laura Schaffstall from Fandom and Stitches, and that one I need to put some binding on, so I'm going to put binding on that. Jennifer, hers are all done. I'm thinking at the end of my video next week I'll just do like a little show and tell of their stuff, just so you can see the awesome stuff that some of our other wonderful quilt community have given me for Linus. I want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for all of the nice things you said about my Raggedy Andy. It felt like such a personal project. I didn't post it on Instagram or Facebook or anywhere until I shared with you guys first, and then I still waited until yesterday. I didn't post anything about it until yesterday, and I did confirm with my aunt that that indeed was my grandmother's pattern, and that she also helped with the dolls that my grandmother made for my daughter. So I think those dolls are in storage in my house. I just have to figure out where, because I have some of my daughter's toys and things that I'm saving that she asked me to hold on to because she just have room for them in her apartment. So I'm gonna see if I can find them so that I can not only show them to my aunt, but I can show them to you guys. I don't remember if I mentioned it last week, but our Australia quilts made it. They are there. They have been, I think, distributed already, because I sent them ready to go. They were bound, labeled, washed, and just ready to distribute. So I think they may have already gone out. You guys can still send quilt tops, quilt blocks, donations in general to Oz Comfort Quilts, and I will put a link to that in the description. They are working really hard to distribute as many quilts as they can to as many affected families as they can. So I am going to the Dallas Quilt Show on March 13th. I've had a couple people ask me if I was still going because of the coronavirus, and I am going to go. I'm going to take precautions. I'm going to take my own food, which that actually has more to do with the lines at the Dallas Quilt Show in the cafeteria area than it does with anything else. I'm gonna take antibacterial, which is not a thing I generally use, so I'll have that with me and just take some precautions and make sure that I'm being extra safe. If you guys are local and you're interested in going to the Dallas Quilt Show, there's still room on the bus. And if you're interested, let me know and I will send you that information. You probably would need to call the lady who organizes it at this point because it's pretty late in the game. But she said there are still spaces left on the bus. And we leave like early in the morning and then we get back pretty late in the evening. And it's, you know, it's just a one day there and back again kind of trip. That is going to be it for me. You guys be sure and stop by Fandom and Stitches tomorrow for more awesome Kingdom Hearts from Jeannie. And I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I hope you have a crafty week. I hope you make something for yourself. I hope you make something that's on your to-do list. I hope you just have a really, really lovely week, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.